The Hidden Project. Admiral Rhea Patel stood at the observation deck of Luna Base, her dark eyes fixed on the distant Earth glowing like a marble in the void. Behind her, the soft hum of quantum computers filled the room as they processed the latest simulation data. 20 years of careful planning had led to this moment, and still, the weight of secrecy pressed heavily on her shoulders. "Admiral, the Arconian delegation has arrived," Lieutenant Marcus Webb announced, his voice breaking through her contemplation. "They're requesting the usual tour of our primitive facilities." Rhea allowed herself a small smile. The Arconians, like most of the galactic community, had grown comfortable with their perceived superiority over humanity. Their crystalline bodies housed minds that had mastered conventional space travel centuries ago, and they never missed an opportunity to remind humans of their technological inadequacies. "Very well, Lieutenant. Let's give them exactly what they expect to see." She straightened her uniform and headed toward the reception area, where the familiar scene would play out once again. The Arconian delegation consisted of 3 tall, crystalline beings whose bodies refracted light in complex patterns. Their leader, Ambassador Zix, towered over the humans present, his translucent form pulsing with what Rhea had learned to recognize as barely contained amusement. "Admiral Patel," Zix's voice resonated through the chamber, "we appreciate your continued openness to our guidance. It must be challenging to witness the true heights of spacefaring civilization and know you are centuries away from achieving it." Rhea bowed slightly, playing her role perfectly. "Your insights are always valuable, Ambassador. Would you care to observe our latest attempts at improving our propulsion systems?" Deep beneath the lunar surface, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Dr. Raj Kumar was watching the tour on a secure feed. His team of quantum engineers continued their work on Project Infinity, the real reason for humanity's apparent technological stagnation. "They're buying it completely," Dr. Kumar muttered to his colleague, Dr. Isabella Torres. 20 years of letting them think we're stuck trying to copy their brute force approach to space travel. Isabella nodded, her fingers dancing across a holographic interface as she fine-tuned their latest calculations. "Humanity's greatest advantage has always been our ability to think differently. While they've spent millennia pushing against the fabric of space-time, we've learned to dance with it." The facility around them hummed with the power of technology that would have been incomprehensible to their alien visitors. Where the Arconians and other advanced species had mastered the art of tearing holes in space-time, humanity had discovered something far more elegant: the ability to fold space itself, like origami made of reality. Above them, Rhea was leading the Arconian delegation through a carefully crafted display of failed experiments and primitive technology. Each piece had been meticulously designed to reinforce the aliens' preconceptions about human capabilities. "And this," Rhea gestured to a particularly clunky-looking device, "is our latest attempt at replicating your dimensional drive technology. We're still struggling with the power requirements, of course." Zix's crystalline form sparkled with what could only be described as patronizing amusement. "Ah, yes. Power management was one of our earliest challenges as well. Perhaps in another century or two, you'll begin to grasp the fundamental principles." In the hidden facility, Dr. Kumar's team was putting the finishing touches on humanity's real masterpiece. The Infinity Drive didn't fight against space-time. It worked with it, using principles that the other spacefaring races had never even considered. "Final simulation complete," Isabella announced, her voice tight with excitement. "The field harmonics are perfect. We're ready for the next phase." Raj looked at the data scrolling across his screen and felt a moment of pure awe. They had done it. After 2 decades of secret research, countless failed attempts, and the constant pressure of maintaining humanity's greatest deception, they had created something revolutionary. The tour concluded with the usual exchange of pleasantries and thinly veiled condescension from the Arconian delegation. As Rhea watched their ship depart, she received a message from the underground facility. "Project Infinity is ready for implementation. Awaiting your command." She made her way to a secure communication room and initiated a quantum-encrypted connection to Earth's unified government. Operation Humble Beginning is complete, she reported. The galactic community remains convinced of our technological inadequacy. We're ready to proceed with Phase 2. The response came quickly. Proceed with caution. 2 decades of deception have bought us this opportunity. Let's not waste it. Rhea thought about the years of careful planning, the countless scientists and military personnel who had maintained this elaborate charade. While the galaxy laughed at humanity's apparent bumbling attempts at advancement, they had been perfecting something that would rewrite the rules of space travel. In the coming weeks, humanity would reveal their true capabilities to an unsuspecting galaxy. But for now, Rhea returned to the observation deck, watching Earth shine in the distance. Soon, very soon, everything would change. The quantum computers continued their endless calculations, maintaining the delicate balance that would allow humanity to achieve what the other races thought impossible. In labs and facilities hidden across the solar system, thousands of dedicated individuals continued their work, each playing their part in humanity's greatest performance. The stage was set, the audience was watching, and humanity was about to show the galaxy that sometimes the best way forward isn't to follow the path others have carved, but to find a completely new way to reach the stars. The facade crumbles. The Starship Odyssey hung in high Earth orbit, its sleek hull deliberately weathered to appear less advanced than it truly was. Commander Vikram Singh stood on the bridge, watching as 3 Arconian vessels approached, their crystalline hulls gleaming with the characteristic energy signatures of conventional space drives. "They're hailing us, Commander," Communications Officer Nadia Volkov reported, her fingers hovering over the holographic interface disguised as an outdated touchscreen. "Right on schedule," Vikram muttered. "Put them through." The familiar resonant tones of Ambassador Zix filled the bridge. "Human Vessel Odyssey, we observe you are preparing for your first attempted deep space trial. As per galactic protocols, we will escort you to ensure your safety." Several bridge officers suppressed smiles. After 2 decades of playing the role of technological inferiors, the crew had mastered the art of appearing grateful for alien assistance. "We appreciate your concern, Ambassador," Vikram replied, careful to maintain the expected tone of deference. "Your presence will be most reassuring during this humble test of our propulsion system." Deep within the Odyssey, in a section that didn't appear on any official schematic, Dr. Isabella Torres monitored the real heart of the ship. The Infinity Drive hummed silently, its quantum fields already subtly reshaping space around the vessel in ways the Arconian sensors couldn't detect. "Status report," she spoke into her comm unit. "All systems nominal." Raj Kumar's voice came through. He had transferred from the lunar facility to oversee the drive's first major test. "The quantum harmonics are perfect. They're looking right at us, but they can't see a thing." Above them, the elaborate dance continued. The Arconian vessels took up escort positions around the Odyssey, their sensors probing the human ship with increasing intensity. They were looking for signs of the primitive space drive they expected to find. The same technology they had seen during their tours of Earth's facilities. Preparing for drive engagement, Vikram announced on an open channel, knowing the Arconians were monitoring every transmission. Engineering reports all systems functioning within expected parameters. The Arconian vessels moved closer, their sensors heightening their scrutiny. Ambassador Zix's voice carried a note of condescending concern. "We're detecting some unusual fluctuations in your power grid. This is typical of inferior technology attempting to breach deep space. Perhaps you should consider postponing this test." In the hidden drive chamber, Isabella exchanged a knowing look with Raj. "They're detecting the decoy signatures exactly as we planned," she said. "Ready to proceed with Phase 2. Raj nodded, his fingers moving across quantum-encrypted controls. Humanity's had its final dress rehearsal. Time for the real performance. Commander Singh straightened in his chair. "Ambassador, we appreciate your concern, but we will proceed with our test. All systems are functioning as designed. He emphasized the last word slightly, a signal to his crew. The Odyssey began to move, seemingly struggling with basic maneuvering, in a way that confirmed the Arconians' worst expectations. The crystalline ships maintained their escort formation, their crews likely already composing the amused reports they would send back to their homeworld about humanity's latest failed attempt at advancing beyond their cosmic backwater. Energy spike detected. One of the Arconian vessels suddenly broadcast. Human vessel, your drive system is showing signs of dangerous instability. Power down immediately. Vikram allowed himself a small smile. I'm afraid that won't be possible, Ambassador. You see, our systems are functioning exactly as designed. They're just not designed the way you think they are. In the drive chamber, Isabella initiated the final sequence. Quantum fields at full harmony. Ready to demonstrate humanity's real capabilities, Commander. Proceed, Vikram ordered. The space around the Odyssey began to change, not with the violent tear of conventional space drives, but with a subtle ripple that spread outward like waves on a pond. The Arconian vessel's sensors suddenly exploded with readings they couldn't interpret. What are you doing? Ambassador Zix demanded, all condescension gone from his voice. These energy patterns are impossible. Not impossible, Ambassador, Vikram replied calmly. Just impossible for anyone who only knows one way to traverse space. The Odyssey began to move in ways that defied the aliens' understanding of physics. Where their ships forced their way through space, humanity's vessels seemed to dance with reality itself. The fabric of space folded around the ship like origami, allowing it to step through dimensions with elegant precision. Multiple dimensional signatures detected. An Arconian sensor officer reported, panic evident in their crystalline resonance. They're moving through quantum states we didn't know were possible. In the drive chamber, Isabella and Raj monitored the Infinity Drive's performance. All systems performing flawlessly, Raj reported. The quantum harmonics are maintaining perfect stability. We're ready for the final demonstration. Commander Singh opened a broadcast channel to all vessels in range. For 20 years, we let you believe we were struggling to copy your technology. But the truth is, we never wanted to copy it. We found a better way. The Odyssey executed a series of maneuvers that would have been impossible with conventional space drives. It didn't tear through space-time. It merged with it, becoming part of the cosmic dance of reality itself. The Arconian vessels tried to follow but found their own drives crude and clumsy in comparison. Impossible. Ambassador Zix's voice had lost all its diplomatic polish. Your facilities, your technology, we saw it ourselves. You saw what we wanted you to see, Vikram replied. While you were laughing at our apparent primitive attempts to copy your brute force approach to space travel, we were perfecting something far more elegant. The news was spreading across the galaxy at faster than light speeds. The race that had been the butt of cosmic jokes for decades had just revealed technology that made the established powers' greatest achievements look primitive by comparison. In the drive chamber, Isabella pulled up a quantum-encrypted communication from Admiral Patel back on Luna Base. Operation Humble Beginning is complete. Phase 3 is now in effect. Show them everything. Raj's fingers danced across the controls, and the Infinity Drive's full capabilities were finally unleashed. The Odyssey began to move through space in ways that redefined what was possible. It didn't just travel through space, it became one with it, using principles that had been hiding in plain sight while humanity played the role of technological adolescents. As the Arconian vessels hung motionless, their crews struck speechless by the display, Vikram made one final broadcast. For centuries, the galaxy has operated on the assumption that there was only one path to the stars, the path of force and domination over nature. Today, humanity shows you another way. We don't fight against space-time, we dance with it. And this dance is just beginning. The message spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The race that had been dismissed as barely space-capable had just demonstrated mastery over principles that the most advanced civilizations hadn't even theorized. The cosmic order was about to change forever, and it had all started with humanity's greatest performance. 2 decades of playing the fool while quietly revolutionizing the very nature of space travel. Ripples across the stars. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council had never been so crowded. Representatives from over 1,000 species packed the crystalline chamber, their varied forms creating a living tapestry of evolutionary diversity. At the center of it all stood Admiral Rhea Patel, her calm demeanor masking the weight of the moment. The council speaker, a gaseous being named Silith who existed within a containment field, addressed the assembly. We gather today to address humanity's unexpected technological revelation. The implications are unprecedented in our 100,000 years of recorded history. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Some delegates exhibited signs of agitation. The silicon-based Drukhari's crystalline forms flickered with angry pulses, while the energy-based Zethar crackled with barely contained emotion. Deception, thundered Zix, the Arconian ambassador. His crystalline form had lost its usual luster, dulled by what many suspected was embarrassment. For 20 years, they systematically missiled the galactic community. How can we trust a species capable of such elaborate duplicity? Rhea stepped forward, her voice clear and unwavering. With respect, Ambassador, when did we deceive you? We showed you our facilities, real facilities, conducting real research. We demonstrated our understanding of your drive technology. At no point did we claim these were our only facilities or our only research paths. From Earth orbit, the Odyssey continued its demonstrations, now under the command of Vikram Singh. Thousands of scientific vessels from across the galaxy had gathered to study the human ship's revolutionary drive system. The quantum fields it generated had already forced 3 major universities to rewrite their physics textbooks. Dr. Isabella Torres, now speaking via quantum-linked hologram to a panel of the galaxy's leading physicists, explained the fundamental principles. Where conventional drives fight against spacetime, we learned to work with it. The universe isn't a barrier to be broken. It's a dance partner waiting for the right approach. The reactions varied wildly. The Moravian Science Academy immediately offered Earth full membership and access to their archived knowledge. The Drukhari Military Command issued orders to double their fleet strength. The Zethar, perhaps most surprisingly, responded with what could only be described as pure joy at discovering a new way of thinking about spacetime. Back in the council chamber, a Moravian representative raised an appendage. The legal question remains. Humanity withheld significant technological advancement from the community, according to the Galactic Treaties of Knowledge Share. Treaties, Rhea interrupted smoothly, that were never offered to humanity. We were deemed too primitive to participate in galactic lawmaking. By your own regulations, we were under no obligation to share our discoveries. In the quantum encrypted command center beneath Luna Base, Dr. Raj Kumar monitored the growing diplomatic crisis while coordinating with research teams across Earth's solar system. The quantum computers hummed as they processed new applications of their space-folding technology. They're scared, he commented to his team. Not just of our technology, but of what it represents. We showed them that their fundamental assumptions about physics, about reality itself, were limited by their own preconceptions. The council debate continued for hours. Some species called for sanctions against Earth for their deliberate undermining of galactic stability. Others argued for immediate technology exchange programs. A few suggested that humanity's achievement marked the beginning of a new era in galactic civilization. Meanwhile, practical concerns began to emerge. The Zethar delegate raised an important point. The human infinity drive renders our existing defense systems obsolete. What prevents this technology from being used for military purposes? Rhea had been waiting for this question. The same thing that prevented us from using it that way during our 20 years of development. Choice. We could have revealed this technology through force, could have used it to establish military superiority. Instead, we chose to reveal it through a peaceful demonstration. In Earth orbit, the Odyssey continued its dance with space-time, each movement demonstrating possibilities that the galaxy's finest minds had never imagined. Vikram's crew had become inadvertent teachers, showing visiting scientists how to see space travel in an entirely new way. The real question, Isabella explained to her increasingly large audience of alien physicists, isn't whether this technology could be used for military purposes. Any technology can be weaponized. The question is whether we'll let fear of what might be done with knowledge prevent us from sharing it. The debate took an unexpected turn when the ancient Cracks, a species so advanced they rarely participated in galactic politics, requested to speak. Their representative, a being of pure thought contained within a quantum matrix, addressed the assembly. We have observed humanity's development since they first achieved spaceflight. The Cracks delegates' thoughts resonated through the chamber. Their path has been unique. Where others sought to dominate nature, they sought to understand it. Where others saw barriers, they saw doorways. Perhaps the question isn't whether we can trust humanity with this technology, but whether we can trust ourselves to learn from their example. The statement caused a profound silence in the chamber. Species that had dismissed humanity as primitive now found themselves reevaluating not just human capability, but their own assumptions about progress and innovation. Rhea seized the moment. We stand ready to share our understanding with any species willing to approach it with an open mind. The Infinity Drive isn't just a new way to travel through space. It's proof that there are always new ways to solve old problems, if we're willing to question our assumptions. In the following days, the galaxy began to adapt to the new reality. The Arconians, swallowing their pride, were among the first to request a technology exchange program. The Drukhari, after much internal debate, announced they would redirect their military budget toward research into the new principles humanity had discovered. The Odyssey's demonstrations continued, each one revealing new possibilities. Vikram's crew worked tirelessly with visiting scientists, showing them that the technology wasn't just about traveling through space. It was about understanding the universe in a fundamentally different way. As the galaxy grappled with the implications of humanity's breakthrough, Admiral Patel received a message from Earth's unified government. Phase 3 complete. Prepare for Phase 4, integration and cooperation. The stage was set for a new era in galactic civilization. Humanity had shown the galaxy not just a new technology, but a new way of thinking. The ripples of their revelation would continue to spread across the stars, changing everything in their wake. The price of progress. The emergency alert came during what should have been a routine technology exchange session aboard the Odyssey. Commander Vikram Singh was explaining the principles of quantum harmonics to a group of Moravian scientists when the ship's AI interrupted with highest priority. Multiple spatial anomalies detected in the Carina sector, the AI reported. Dimensional fabric showing signs of critical instability. The Moravian scientists' tentacles writhed in alarm as their own instruments confirmed the reading. The space-time continuum itself was beginning to unravel in a populated sector of the galaxy. "Get me Admiral Patel," Vikram ordered, already moving to the command chair. The holographic display materialized, showing Rhea's concerned face from the Lunar Command Center. "We're seeing it," she said without preamble. "The Arconian High Council just contacted us. Their early experiments with adapting our technology have gone catastrophically wrong." Dr. Isabella Torres burst onto the bridge, her usual composed demeanor shaken. "Commander, Admiral, the Arconians tried to combine their brute force dimensional drive with our space-folding principles. They've created a cascade failure in the dimensional barriers." The implications were staggering. The Arconian attempt to rush the development of hybrid technology had torn a hole in reality itself, and it was growing. Preliminary data showed 3 inhabited systems already affected, with 12 more in immediate danger. "The Arconian ships in the area are being torn apart," reported Nadia from her communication station. "Their crystalline structures can't handle the dimensional stress. They're requesting immediate evacuation assistance. In the council chamber, now converted to an emergency response center, representatives from across the galaxy argued about the best course of action. The Drukhari blamed humanity for sharing dangerous technology too quickly. The Zethar insisted on a military solution, proposing to detonate quantum warheads to force the dimensional rift closed. Enough. Ria's voice cut through the chaos. This crisis requires immediate action, not debate. Commander Singh, is the Odyssey prepared for emergency operations? Vikram looked to Isabella and Dr. Raj Kumar, who had been analyzing the situation. Raj spoke first, his voice grave. The infinity drive could theoretically stabilize the rift, but we'd need to modify it in ways we've never attempted. The risks would be significant. We don't have a choice, Isabella added. Conventional weapons or drives will only make the situation worse. Our technology created this problem, indirectly, and our technology is the only thing that might fix it. The Odyssey moved through space with urgent grace, its quantum fields already adjusting to the distorted reality around them. As they approached the affected sector, the crew could see the damage through their viewports. Space itself seemed to be cracking, lines of pure energy splitting the void like lightning in a black sky. Multiple Arconian vessels detected, Nadia reported. Their hulls are failing. Dimensional stress is tearing their crystalline structures apart. Begin rescue operations, Vikram ordered. Dr. Torres, Dr. Kumar, whatever modifications you need to make to the drive, do it now. We're running out of time. In the drive chamber, Isabella and Raj worked frantically to reconfigure the infinity drive. Their original design had been about working in harmony with space-time. Now they needed it to actively repair the fabric of reality. The quantum harmonics need to match the frequency of the dimensional tear, Isabella muttered, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. But if we get it wrong, the ship and everyone aboard will be scattered across multiple dimensions, Raj finished. I know. Keep working. Above them, the rescue operation continued. The Odyssey's space-folding technology allowed them to reach the stranded Arconian ships, despite the dimensional chaos around them. Each rescue required precise calculations, as the normal rules of physics became increasingly unreliable near the rift. Admiral, Vikram called to Ria, who was coordinating the galactic response from Luna Base. We've rescued the surviving Arconian crews, but the rift is expanding exponentially. We need to attempt the repair now, or we'll lose the entire sector. Ria's hologram nodded grimly. Understood, Commander. All other vessels have been ordered to maintain safe distance. You're on your own out there. In the drive chamber, Isabella and Raj had finished their modifications. Ready as we'll ever be, Isabella reported. But, Commander, this goes against everything we designed the drive to do. We're not just working with space-time anymore. We're trying to force it to heal. Sometimes, Vikram replied, the dance becomes a fight. Take us in. The Odyssey moved toward the heart of the dimensional tear, its modified drive creating patterns in space-time that had never existed before. The ship's quantum fields extended outward, attempting to contain the chaos of the rift. Hull stress at 60% of maximum, Nadia called out. Dimensional forces are increasing. Drive modifications holding stable, Raj reported from below. Beginning primary sequence. The ship shuddered as the infinity drive engaged at full power. Around them, space itself seemed to twist and fold, responding to the quantum fields they were generating. The tear in reality began to react, its wild energies caught in the complex patterns of the drive's output. It's working. Isabella's voice was tense with concentration. The quantum harmonics are matching the rift's frequency. We're starting to see signs of dimensional repair. But success came with a price. The strain on the ship and crew was enormous. Warning signals blared as multiple systems approached their breaking points. The infinity drive, never designed for this kind of operation, began to show signs of imminent failure. Drive containment failing, Raj warned. We need to complete the sequence in the next 60 seconds, or we'll lose the drive entirely. Vikram gripped his command chair as reality twisted around them. Push it to the limit. We finish this now. The Odyssey's drive pulsed with one final surge of power, forcing the damaged space-time to fold back on itself, sealing the dimensional tear with a flash of energy that briefly outshone the local stars. When the light faded, the rift was gone. The fabric of space-time, while still showing signs of stress, had been repaired. But the Odyssey hung motionless in space, its revolutionary drive system pushed far beyond its design limits. Drive status, Vikram asked, already knowing the answer. The modifications we made. They burned out the quantum matrix, Isabella replied, her voice heavy with exhaustion and regret. The Infinity Drive is dead. As rescue ships approached to assist the now-stranded Odyssey, the galaxy faced a new reality. Humanity's technology had both caused and solved a crisis that threatened multiple star systems. The question now was, what would they learn from this near disaster? The price of progress had been paid in burned-out systems and stressed alliances. But perhaps the greatest cost was the loss of innocence, the realization that even the most elegant technology could become dangerous in the wrong hands, or when pushed too far, too fast. As the crew of the Odyssey waited for rescue, they knew that their next challenge wouldn't be technological. It would be teaching the galaxy not just how to use their discoveries, but when not to use them. New Dawn. 6 months after the Carina incident, the rebuilt Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council hosted a very different kind of meeting. Gone was the tension and suspicion that had characterized previous gatherings. In its place was a sense of shared purpose, born from surviving a crisis that had threatened them all. Admiral Riya Patel stood before the assembled representatives, but this time she wasn't alone. Beside her stood Ambassador Zix of the Arconians, his crystalline form now bearing the subtle patterns that indicated profound emotional change among his species. The Joint Research Initiative has confirmed what we suspected, Raya announced to the Assembly. The dimensional tear in the Carina sector left traces in the fabric of spacetime. These traces have revealed aspects of reality we never knew existed, patterns that neither humanity's space-folding technology nor conventional drive systems had detected before. The holographic displays showed the data collected from the damaged sector. What had initially seemed like a disaster had become an unprecedented opportunity for scientific discovery. The near catastrophe had forced the galaxy's civilizations to work together in ways they never had before. In the observation deck of the new Lunar Science Academy, Dr. Isabella Torres watched as ships from a dozen different species arrived for the first graduating class of what had become known as the Harmonic Institute. After the loss of the Odyssey's Infinity Drive, she and Dr. Raj Kumar had focused on teaching rather than rebuilding. They're finally starting to understand, Raj said, joining her at the window. It was never about the technology itself. It was about the way of thinking that led to it. The students below represented the best scientific minds from across the galaxy. They had come not just to learn about humanity's space-folding principles, but to share their own species' unique perspectives on the nature of reality. Commander Vikram Singh, now serving as the Academy's head of practical applications, entered with a group of graduating students. Today's simulation showed promising results, he reported. The Moravian concept of fluid dynamics, combined with Zethar energy manipulation theories and our space-folding principles, it's creating possibilities we never imagined. In orbit above them, the Odyssey had been transformed into a living museum and research facility. Its burned-out Infinity Drive remained in place, not as a monument to failure, but as a reminder of the responsibility that came with pushing the boundaries of science. The latest data from the Carina sector is fascinating, Isabella said, pulling up a holographic display. The dimensional repairs we performed didn't just fix the tear. They created a new kind of stable quantum matrix. It's as if space-time itself learned from our intervention. The implications had been staggering. The crisis had shown that reality was more adaptable than anyone had believed. It wasn't just about forcing space to bend or working in harmony with it. It was about teaching space-time itself new ways to behave. Back in the council chamber, Ambassador Zix took his turn to speak. The Arconian collective acknowledges that our hasty attempts to adapt human technology led to near disaster. But from this error, we have learned something valuable. True progress comes not from copying or competing, but from cooperation and understanding. The assembly murmured in agreement. The past 6 months had seen unprecedented collaboration between species that had previously viewed each other with suspicion or disdain. The Drukhari had contributed their expertise in crystalline computing, the Zethar had shared their deep understanding of energy patterns, and even the mysterious cracks had emerged from their isolation to offer insights. We propose, Rhea continued, the establishment of a permanent Galactic Science Council, with membership open to all species regardless of their current technological level. The universe has shown us that different perspectives are not just valuable. They're essential for true understanding. In the academy below, a young Arconian student was presenting a theoretical framework that combined their species' natural affinity for crystalline structures with human spacefolding principles. The result was an entirely new approach to quantum computing that could revolutionize everything from space travel to environmental restoration. The key, the student explained, their crystalline form glowing with excitement, is understanding that what we perceived as limitations were actually unopened doors. Every species brings a unique way of seeing reality, and only by combining these perspectives can we see the whole picture. Raj smiled as he watched the presentation. Remember when they thought we were primitive? Now they're teaching us things about our own technology that we never realized. The Carina sector, once nearly destroyed by misuse of technology, had become a thriving center of multi-species research. The subtle changes in space-time caused by the dimensional tear had created conditions perfect for studying the deepest mysteries of reality. Ships from across the galaxy came to observe and learn, their diverse crews working together to unlock new understanding. As the council session concluded, Raya received a message from Earth's unified government. Phase 4 complete. Begin Phase 5. Genuine partnership. She smiled, remembering the long journey from humanity's deliberate deception to their current role as teachers and collaborators. The galaxy had changed, and with it, the very nature of progress had been redefined. The universe, she addressed the assembly one final time, is not a frontier to be conquered or a resource to be exploited. It is a partner in discovery, a teacher as much as a student. We succeeded not because we were smarter or more advanced, but because we were willing to question our assumptions and learn new ways of thinking.